Hello everyone and welcome back to Game 2 of Glacial Mingos versus Degenerate's Exiles. We've already had an upset in Game 1 that went to 40 minutes. It had Elder Steals, Baron Steals, insane back and forths, and it ended with a teleport backdoor. And I am joined by Shivy on the desk as we look for an equally exciting game here in Game 2.
Yeah, we're just going through these bans super quickly. Degenerate Exiles keeping their bans very, very similar. Jarvan, Morgana, Orianna. Glacial Mingos banning out Thresh, Nocturne, and now the Trundle because they feared it that much. So Exiles definitely struck the fear of Trundle into their eyes. They are going to first pick that Amumu support, and I think it's worth first picking. It did a lot in these team fights, and it really did affect, how Glacial Mingos wanted to play, and it allowed Degenerate Exiles to force fights when they wanted to as soon as the bandage shots hit. As they're going to trade it for a Xin Zhao, and I'm expecting they're going to rotate their support or jungle. I don't expect they're going to rotate their mid laner so early again. We're going to see, though, what they go with the R2. A Nautilus coming out. So trying something a little bit different.
Yeah, a little bit. Already some change-ups here. I mean, Xin Zhao still a tier 1 jungler in my mind. Insanely powerful there. And again, would have been a great pick last game here against so much poke. I mean, able to just neutralize the arrows, the Corki rockets, and just kind of play that front-to-back team fight. So strong with that Crescent Guard is Dex is locking in very similar picks here. We already got the Varus, we got the Amumu. That same bottom lane we could be seeing happen again, but I will not count out Amumu jungle as I could see that getting flexed.
Yeah, we saw Degenerate Exiles flex the Trundle from the jungle. What we initially thought was going to be a jungle pick into the top lane and just really hard counter that Scion. GM, or Glacial Mingos, does have the last or R5 counter pick here, so they can save that for either their top lane or their mid lane. We're going to see what they prio here, but Degenerate Exiles locking the Varus. They have to lock one more champion in. Come on. It's the Scorpo. Skarner is here. Let's go.
Okay.
The complete contrast.
Look. I'm a Mastery level 7 Skarner, all right? I think he's awful right now. Honestly, that's all. Like, I'm happy to see one of my favorite dudes get picked up, but like this champion is it's honestly garbage. Like, there's so many other good junglers on the table right now, and you locked in Skarner. I know, I know that Sovereign plays this pick, but I mean, come on.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. He is kind of garbage right now. He's not the best jungler. I think the nerfs to the item Boots of Lucidity, the general just movement speed item nerf that got was across the board, right, with the chem tank and the Dead Man's Play, I believe Force of Nature as well got hit just in overall move speed. He's not as fast, and he is super just reliant on that flash R. I don't hate the pick, though, especially now that's weird that Glacial Mingos locked in a Jinx. I mean, if you can get a flash pull onto the Jinx, she's not going to have any escape. She's not going to have really any way to, I would say, get away from you. Doesn't have a dash like an Ezreal or Samira or anything like that. And honestly, he's not necessarily a primary engage here as well. He can wait on an Amumu lockdown, and then once that person gets locked down, he can just drag them back as well. So a lot of different ways for Dex to set up and have that single target isolated damage, which is what they love, in these small skirmishes. As Glacial Mingos is going to lock in the Vladimir. That could either go top or mid. I've seen both. I think Vladimir mid is actually a little bit stronger right now, just because of the shorter lane and the minions, and he has better matchups. But gotta see what Dex locks in here, going with Articuno in the mid lane.
This is really good. I mean, look at the value a Nivea Wall can get against this team composition. Nothing on their team can get through it except for a flash. So come mid-game, when those walls start to get a lot larger, keep an eye on what Glacial Mingos has to do just to get around this bird. And Gangplank will be the last pick. So again, I feel like Degenerate's Exiles, they're drafting so intelligently. I still don't like the Skarner pick, but everything else coming through here feels very powerful coming into what Glacial Mingos has picked up.
Oh, that's a Vayne top?
Yes. Yeah. And this is another pick of TG Lanier's. He actually has played this in the past as well. So
yeah.
Not entirely surprised to see it, but I also think Lucian top would have been the better pick. I mean, usually that's a traditional Gangplank counter pick. But into the Amumu, into the Skarner, it's also a very powerful pick in and of itself.
Yeah, he's got a lot of targets to hit. It's not like the Vayne is horrendous, right? Has the Amumu, like you said, the Skarner, has the ability to R and Q out and really just use her mobility to her advantage, right? Because if he finds this Varus in a side lane by himself, if he finds Gangplank in a side lane by himself, the thing with Gangplank is that he really thrives in those 1v1s when it's like a big burly tank or a fighter. But if it's someone like Vayne, who's constantly moving around, who's constantly going invisible, you cannot get those barrel chain combos going. You can't even Q her when she's invisible. So Gangplank loses the fight before he can really even get off any of his abilities. Early lane phase might be a little hard for Vayne, as Gangplank's Q, I believe, is the same range as Vayne auto range, which unfortunately
I think it actually got nerfed on the last patch too, right?
Did did the range get nerfed? I could be wrong on the Gangplank Q.
No, it was just that he can't proc grasp off it anymore. It counts as a ranged auto rather than a melee auto, so it's harder to proc grasp with his Q.
Oh yeah, I was just highlighting the fact that it could be used as a good harass tool, right? Once he gets to Sheen, and I believe the range is the same as Vayne. So if Vayne is trading one Silver Bolt auto for a Gangplank Q, she's gonna win out. She's gonna lose out. Sorry, she's gonna lose out those trades over time and just in general. And not a lot of innate sustain unless she builds the Vamp Scepter or goes that Bork route that we sometimes see from Vayne tops. I like that you said that Degenerate Exiles is just drafting very, very smart. I mean, other than the Skarner pick, Anivia is really nice here. Allows for a lot of terrain control, zone control. This team just has a lot of objective control and objective setup. And we've seen that it just works really, really effectively into Glacial Mingos, barring any like 50-50 smite fights. Degenerate Exiles only lost, I believe, one dragon, and that was one of the first two initial dragons. Other than that, they picked up 3 Infernals, they got the Soul, they were able to pick up the Elder, the first one, I believe, and they picked up the first Baron as well. It's just the crux or the issue with Degenerate Exiles is that they just don't know how to close out a game effectively, don't know how to use side lane pressure, and they sometimes stray away from what their comp is really strong at.
Yeah, I will say, I think the Vayne pick can work out in this case. Normally the counter to range tops is that you just spam gank up. You just shut him down completely with constant ganks, but that's not something that Skarner wants to do early game. He's going to struggle to find his way up there, and if Adam Suki spots him out and matches him, that's a 2v2 easily won by Xin Zhao Vayne.
Oh yeah. Just a jungle. He wins every lane, right? 2v2 in the mid, 2v2 in the bottom, or 2v2 in the top, 3v3 in the bottom. Like, unfortunately, Skarner is not one of those champions that is a really good duelist. If they can get one of those skirmishes in one of his like crystal zones, then I see a world where Skarner can potentially look to match the Xin Zhao in a skirmish in a 2v2 over 3v3. Even if he's in one of his crystal zones, so I think Xin Zhao just wins that just because like you said, I think he's the de facto best jungler in the game right now. If not, you can make Diana or Lee Sin the case. But yeah, Xin Zhao is just so strong with all the upfront damage, can knock up, can really just prevent what Skarner wants to do. And it's going to be a reaction game too, right? Because if Skarner flashes in, Xin Zhao can R immediately, so he doesn't have to challenge anybody, and immediately just kicks Skarner out of the area of effect damage, or the area of effect that he wants to do with his ultimate, and really look to engage these team fights.
I will also say one big buff that did come through, and I'm really curious to see if Sovereign will run it, was Predator. It has a much faster ramp up time, and it's also faster. So you might not even need the flash, just with the extra move speed you get from that. And you stack that with Chem Tank, Shrelia, something else that lets you get to that team fight just a little bit faster. That might be just enough move speed to allow Sovereign to look for these picks. So this Skarner pick, of course, could be effective. But again, I'm looking at Adam Suki, and I'm just looking for him to create a massive advantage for his team before Skarner can come online.
Yeah, it really is a power farm game for Degenerate Exiles. They have essentially 3 scaling quote-unquote picks, right? Anivia needs to scale, needs to get her items. Gangplank needs to get like Essence Reaver plus another item, and obviously for Skarner, it's less about the items and more about the levels for him. So a very passive early game is what I'm expecting coming out from Degenerate Exiles, other than that bot lane with Fox Zero and Flute Loops, who, can definitely box it up in that bot lane. But Jinx Nautilus is going to put out a lot of damage, right? Once she gets that ramping Q damage, the attack speed, Nautilus has the lockdown. I mean, if Varus gets, hit with a flash auto Q EW from Nautilus, that's a lot of damage and lockdown coming out. So Glacial Mingos really has to take advantage. And I think in a perfect world, they should get both Dragons and the Rift Herald early on at least. And it isn't until DEX hits their mythic breakpoints or their level 6 breakpoints to where they can really start looking to contest these objectives, right? You have Vayne scaling in the top, you have Vladimir scaling in the mid, but I do think that Jinx, Nautilus, and Xin Zhao just pose so much of a threat on these objectives early on that DEX doesn't have a way to challenge them unless they send like a full 5-man in.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I mean, Anivia could try and look for that prio and try and roam down to also match the fight. But yeah, 3 massive scaling hyper carries on the side of Glacial Mingos. This could get dangerous around these fights. We will be going to a short break here as we get into this game, but stay tuned. Last one was exciting. I'm expecting nothing different here. With the Vayne top already locked in, you know this game's gonna be super volatile. Stay tuned. And we are back with game 2. Glacial Mingos on the red side here with the Vayne top. Looking already our little one invade here as they move into the bottom lane. Up against Degenerates. Exiles here who have found their first victory in this series and looking to continue that success with a very similar bot lane already picked up. Varus, Amumu effective the first time. Can they do it twice?
Zalban, Skarner has no items. He forgot the items.
He forgot. Varus also forgot items. Oh wait, is this a spectator bug? This might be spectator bug.
Oh, it might be spectator bug.
I think it is spectator bug because
No. Okay. On my side, he got the items.
Okay, well, we'll have to see, I guess. Maybe if I, like, click on Skarner? No, I have no idea. I think it is just spectator bugged, so we're not going to see the items. That's okay. I want to believe that Skarner did pick him up, just because it's a rough mistake to make, as they move across the rift here. But, you know, here's the indicator. You don't see the trinket. And that gets automatically picked up, so I'm just going to say that spectator is bugged out and we do not see his items.
Okay, we are gonna go into a short transition to fix this spectator bug very quickly. Just have to rewind 10 seconds. We'll be right back into it very, very shortly. Just stick around.
Well, Spaghetti Code aside, we're here into the game without any further delays, as Skarner starting actually solo here towards topside. Interesting, as he's going to be really, really slow here against a Xin Zhao, but I like the look. Just start opposite side of Xin Zhao. You know you're not going to be able to beat him out early. Just play to clear out get your full clear in without getting invaded, and hopefully he'll do just that here.
Yeah, it's gonna look really nice for Skarner, getting that look, getting potentially that bottom scuttle for himself here. As you know, the slow jungle start isn't that bad. I think Degenerate Exiles isn't expecting Sovereign to gank super early, so just giving him that freedom, giving him that ability to just farm up and get his items and get level 6 is probably key here. I have seen in the chat that this guy has 100% Skarner win rate in XLNC, or at least in mid league, so maybe they know something we don't. Degenerate Exiles boys, but Glacial Mingos already getting that early push onto all of the lanes. As yeah, that comes out.
Yeah, got the press the attack on top of the silver bullets. It's gonna hurt. I actually brought exhaust here in the top lane, so looking to just drop it on top of the gangplank and take that full trade with the extra CC plus just that damage reduction. Could be massive here in these trades in the top lane. As again, TJ Lanier should know that this Skarner is not gonna be up here for a long time.
Yeah, it's gonna look super interesting when these skirmishes start happening, I would say. But I want to see what Skarner does, you know, at least to try to blow some flashes, at least try to do something, because there is going to be a lot of downtime once he clears his camps. He actually is going to do the 4 clamp clear here, but we're going to see, you know, gets that scuttle pretty much uncontested, I want to say. Yeah, no shove coming in, and jungler's not here as Vladimir is pushed up.
Do you see Skarner just hovering towards Vlad? But I mean, this is like one of the hardest champions in the game to gank. Not if he walks right towards you, Bush, though. Will manage to find the stun. Can just W out of this one, and with Adamsuki arriving, they know that the party's over. The jig is up, and they're just going to be forced to disengage.
Yeah, and that's a Skarner gank for you.
Yeah.
That's pretty underwhelming. Free 6 Skarner gank. Is going to go towards his golems here, so going to finish out that clear, probably back. Pick up the boots. Didn't end up going the Predator like you wanted, Sulpan. I still think Phase Rush is fine here. He probably went Phase Rush into Inspiration and got that extra item cooldown and the Summoner spell cooldown. That's usually what you want to go. That'll drop once you get the Ionian Boots of Lucidity. That'll drop your flash to about 3 minutes 45 seconds, and a Skarner on a 3 minute 45 second flash that's essentially a kill or a Summoner blown on any team once he's level 6. You know, almost every fight.
Yeah, still haven't managed to make anything happen here with the Xin Zhao. Actually, just kind of saw a mirrored full clear from both these junglers. As topside scuttle also got picked up, so they managed to spot out the Skarner there. They know where he's going, but again, just when you kind of have one of these level 6 junglers, once you know where they are on the map, you can kind of just predict the rest of the route, because really all they want to do is try and go for that full clear and maybe pull off a gank on someone who's super overextended.
Yeah, it looks like TJ Lanier is having a fun time into this top lane. I mean, has a small CS lead, about 10 to 15 CS give or take, and building up that CS lead. And it looks like Gangplank actually started tier here. I don't necessarily understand the reasoning. I would have loved to see him go possibly Doran's or even Corrupting Potion, but really just wants to get that stack and wants to get his Mana Moon build going. I'm not sure what build he's gonna go. It looks like Essence Reaver into Mana Moon, most likely. Does a lot of damage. Those barrels, with the buffs that he got, 5 barrel chains, as Fruit Loops is going to be spotted out, eating a W here. And
yeah, something I want to mention, the new Gangplank builds opt towards him being able to one-shot people. So I wouldn't be surprised if this guy gets ahead to see this either Vayne or this Jinx just get one-shot by a crazy chain combo. It is entirely possible, and there's like a 20% chance it happens once you get all your crit built out, but it can happen. It is terrifying once it does.
Yeah, as Coldbach gonna get some damage out.
Trading at the wrong time here. Xin Zhao is in the fight, and it'll just immediately be disengaged. So once again, once Xin Zhao arrives, the party's over.
Yeah, it's just...
buzzkill, man.
I mean, I have to give it up to Adamsuki. He's doing a very good job just countering any of this early game Skarner aggression. I don't know if I'd ever be using that sentence in my life in League of Legends, but just doing a really good job in dissuading any sort of flash E shenanigans or flash ganks, post level 6, and really forcing Sovereign and overall Degenerate's Exiles seem to really take that, hyper scaling, disadvantage that they have in this early game, and you see it in the small gold lead that has accrued for Glacial Mingos.
And TJ Lanier all in. He's already got him down to half. One more Silver Bolt combo will do it. There it is. TJ Lanier picks up first blood on the top lane. I believe he did get it burned by that sword, but the stealth does allow him to de-aggro those minions, and he's easily able to survive. So a solo kill first blood for the ranged top laner, the bane and the scourge of all top laners everywhere.
Yeah, I think the crucial thing here is that as the late game goes later, TJ Lanier did go for exhaust instead of the TP. So innovative picks, no stranger to split pushing, is gonna just walk back up, doesn't have his TP available, picking up the Sheen, picking up the Cull, picking up another longsword here, while Vayne just has the Noon Quiver in hand.
Team hovering towards Fox Zero down here. Nick Swantek, it forces Skarner into the mid lane just to allow Colbox to take this wave. This is what you want to do with the enemy jungler. Just make your enemy laner call him, get the rest of this wave underneath the tower, and you'll finally get these last two there. But Skarner also picking up some lane EXP, moving towards the level 6. Could be big here for Sovereign.
Has that whole top side up, but has to cover mid. I mean, I don't hate it when I can take some lane minions, take some little extra gold, but it really just slow down my clear, slows down my camps, and it becomes more predictable on where I'm going to go, and it opens me up it opens Sovereign up in this case to get counter jungled, right? Because Adamsuki has to know that since this guy's mid, both sides of his camps are up, and he can just kind of choose with impunity which one he wants to invade, whether he wants to go for a skirmish against Skarner, or he wants to, just take some camps away and further delay those level power specs. As he does hit level 6 off the minion wave here, so Skarner has the flash abduction ready, is going to be looking, I would assume, into that top lane because TJ Lanier doesn't have TP, but we're going to see.
Yeah, no TP, no QSS. I mean, eventually, I'm expecting both of these AD carries to pay their taxes, or at the very least, even seeing the Mikhails come out from Gabe. But, they need something to dissuade this Skarner from just taking away their carries. But right now, I'm just going to opt for the Rift Herald, so no ganks just yet. But, I mean, I'm imagining, like you said, we're going to see this Skarner just pick off one of these ADCs as they're the most obvious targets for quickly being able to burst someone down and making sure that they can't turn around to fight.
Yeah, 100%. Colbox is trading into the mid lane, and yeah, these ADCs are super, super easy targets, right? A Vladimir with pull is not easy to kill. Yes. Adamsuki, if he has his ultimate up when he gets pulled, is not going to be easy to kill. You definitely don't want to be pulling Nautilus unless you can guarantee you're going to burst him out, because if he comes out of that ultimate with an auto Q or anything like that, he's going to proc the aftershock and just walk out, with ease. So I would love to see, as the back is actually getting channeled. Yeah, I would love to see Sovereign just target this top lane and give his Gangplank some breathing room, because right now Lanier is just trading in. He's going to die. Okay.
Good timing on that orange, so it actually stops the knockback and prevents him from being knocked into tower, I believe. So he's able to survive here in top lane against TJ Lanier, but again, just so chunked out underneath the tower, and Skarner is nowhere to be seen on the map towards his top side. So Innovative Picks is left to his own devices against TJ Lanier up here. And it's going to be tough for him. I mean, he might even just die underneath this tower here. There is a flash and exhaust now available for TJ Lanier, and he could just look to make the dive happen.
Yeah, he can ult Q, flash exhaust, or exhaust and then flash him. Innovative Picks already did eat a orange here, but just gonna opt in for that. Oh, okay.
Casual Jinx rocket. Yeah, I like the team play.
Yeah, if the damage did get off there, you have to believe TJ Lanier was just ready on the R button, ready to just dive this Gangplank. But playing a little bit more respectful, which is not something I expect from TJ Lanier. Honestly, the way he's been playing top lane, even that Scion in other games and everything like that. But yeah, really just pushing that ranged matchup lead, that kill lead he has, and picking up turret gold, picking up plates, and yeah, look, Gangplank can't even get his barrel combos off because of ranged autos coming out from Vayne. Colbox and Swantek duke it out in the mid lane.
Should just pop the egg if he manages to get it. I don't know if he will, but here comes the gank into the top lane. A pull back TJ Lanier. Finally, Skarner arrives, and with the flash engaged, they're able to get a pick towards this Vayne. Innovative Picks finally gets revenge after sitting up here in top lane and just tanking out the bully.
They're going to casually drop it top without even trying to take any turrets. Not optimal usage here, but at the same time, you know, I get that Sovereign just wants to like drop it and then start farming jungles or trying to affect other lanes right now. Doesn't have the flash available though. Gonna go into Swantek.
Next Swantek forced down. Zinzal's on the roam, but Vladimir is very low here. I mean, this could be the fight that they want. Gonna go into the pool. Sovereign on the phase rush, able to just kite away. Adamsuki stuck in this.
Sovereign went back
here
in.
Comes the Jinx rocket. Chandler Clark from across the map picks that one up. And a great usage of the Crescent Guard to keep himself alive there. Adamsuki played that fight perfectly.
Yeah, he kited it out on Swantek's side, was able to get the healing off, no grievous wounds, so got the full Q heal, and yeah, Adamsuki played it very, very well. I really thought Sovereign and Coldbox were just content on, you know, pushing Swantek out, burning the flash, and, you know, leaving Anivia to just farm out, as Swantek gonna be a little bit annoying.
Yeah, I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do that, right? Lock her into lane as best as you can. Make her miss as many minions as possible. Colbex does have the TP up, though. Dragon is going to be picked up for Glacial Mingos here. And, you know, I said, ideally, in an ideal world, they pick up the first 2 early Dragons and the Rift Herald. They fulfill 2 out of those 3 conditions, which is not bad. And they will be stacking early Drakes and into that Ocean Soul, which is going to be so nice for both the Vladimir, the Zinzao, and even the AD carries. You know, if they pick up Bloodthirst or any other sort of healing, it's just going to amplify it by so much more.
Absolutely. One thing I want to note is that Coldbox's egg did get popped somewhere, I think, off screen. I don't think I saw it. So he no longer has that extra safety on this Anivia. So you could look now at Adamsuki, but expect him to kind of move towards this mid lane and look to just punish this being down on top of the flash also already being blown.
Yeah, it's weird because Adamsuki ended up also going Halo Blades onto the Zinzao instead of the traditional Conqueror. So if fights start going more extended and Coldbox is able to kite these fights out with his you know, his ultimate, his E, his Q, and everything, then I eventually think they will lose it. So it's really just a heavy upfront burst coming out from Adamsuki, and he has to rely on the follow-up damage that's either going to come out from Swantek if he ganks mid, or Lanier if he ganks top. But it feels like right now, even though Innovative Picks has the Essence Reaver completed, he's still losing to essentially the Thrift Shop Vayne build right now, as Sovereign is coming back up for more love.
Can I get the slow? TJ Lanier not going to go for the stun. Will get pulled back in. A flash from Adamsuki here to save his Vayne to the rescue. Here comes Zinzal. They're going to pop up. Just destroy Innovative Pixar at the top lane. And now Sovereign. This is the power of the Zinzal counter gank. Will also drop. And 2 kills go over to Glacial Mingos.
Yeah, forcing the gank there on Sovereign's side was not the move. I mean, Innovative Pix wasn't able to set up his barrel combos at all or anything like that. As Nick Swantek is going to take some damage here and not die here. That electrocute Anivia does hurt. Doesn't hurt hard enough though. Is sitting on the lost chapter. But back to the point, right? Oh, as I say that,
that's a lot of damage, and he didn't actually get anything off. The healing does come through just in time. Able to stay alive here. And healing up off the main. Nick Swantek keeps himself alive, and now it's actually Coldbox who has to play on the back foot.
Yeah. That was a good trade. I think Anivia messed up her R, because if she got the R plus enhanced E damage off there, I think it would have killed Swantek before he got the healing from his own ultimate. Knife's Edge. Gold is actually heavily in the Mingos favor, though, just based off of turret plating that was picked up from TJ Lanier on the top side. He has 2 kills, has about a 30 CS lead. You look into the mid lane, it's about a 40 CS lead. You also look into the bot lane, it's about a 40 CS lead. So across the board, they're just picking up hefty CS leads. And that's just due to the fact that Sovereign could not affect the map early, and it just allowed all of Glacial Mingos to play pretty much as aggressively as they wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, this is the fall of the Skarner pick. You just don't have the ability to really affect those lanes as much as you'd like to. You saw what Adamsuki can do in that 2v2. I mean, and while he didn't pull off anything crazy early on, he was just matching the Skarner, and they have so many scaling picks that they don't need to do anything early. It was actually the side of Degenerate's Exiles that needed to make something happen, and with the Skarner pick, they just weren't able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Skarner still has the ability to affect these team fights. They still have that pick potential. He has flash pull up here, but if he just if another one of those Adam Suki counter ganks comes in, you have to feel that it's going to feel really bad, as Innovative Picks is going to die here.
Oh my god, dropped to half off of a single Silver Bolts combo. TG to Lanier picks up another solo kill in the top lane.
Yeah, and that's just the dueling power of Vayne. If she sees you alone, she has the exhaust, she has the R, TJ Lanier will go for it, and a really nice pick from Vayne here, from TJ Lanier here. You know, I kind of had my doubts about the Vayne top, but when, you know, I looked at the match history, we were off chat or offline, and we were doing the transitions or the transmission, I saw that he's been winning on it heavily as Flute Loops.
Ooh. Yeah, look for this fight here, but once again, Xin Zhao is matching the Skarner perfectly. Flute Loops has already gone down, 2 kills picked up. Jinx not getting anything just yet, but chasing off that Skarner, they're able to find the fight once again as they win the Pink Ward War there in that Tribush.
And Snick Swantek going in, Wing and ulting this Articuno or Anivia on cooldown here and just forcing her back. And so the lane prio that I thought Anivia would have is just not there. Sovereign coming in. He wants to kill this guy.
Sovereign flash ulting for this kill. Will manage to get the shutdown going into Egg. Chandler Clark in the middle of this gameplay, able to just taking the damage. Sovereign doesn't have anything to shut this down. And with the kill, she's able to just escape. Sovereign now on the run. Will land the slow. Not going to go for the stun though, as he knows he's got nothing left in the tank.
That was so sad to see. That was so sad. Sovereign's like autoing Q. He's like, yeah, I'm using all my abilities. And literally Chandler's not taking like any damage. Even from the Gangplank ultimate, it was kind of surprising. It felt like she was just kind of getting tickled. And it was like, yeah, I could just kill this Anivia and walk out because I'll get the reset. I'll get excited. And third dragon being picked up. Soul Point going to happen in about 23 minutes into the game. Ocean Soul on the menu. 8-2, about a 5.8, almost 6K gold lead for Glacial Mingos at the 18.5-minute mark, and game's looking dire for Degenerate Exile.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, Glacial Mingos coming with the vengeance here. It was a super close game 1, but they're just looking at lane dominance pretty much across the board here. Off the back of the Xin Zhao, able to just find fight after fight. Flute Loops actually stole away Herald from DJ Lanier here and steals it. Actually manages to pick it up too, so DJ Lanier turn this one around though. Does find the damage. Coldbox forced to flash away. Lanier still on the chase here, gonna walk into the Anivia zone. Risky move, but it's paying off for him. Cotton. Coldbox goes low. One auto will do it. The Jinx rocket to pick it up, and now he's gonna get shut down, but it's Skarner grabbing the gold.
Skarner grabbing the gold is not what I want to hear from you, Sopan, as he's gonna pick up 2 kills and more aggression.
Yup. It's another one. So, unfortunately, they're losing fights or losing towers, and another kill goes down off of a great hook from Gabe there. Mingos are just dominating the map. I mean, there isn't much else to it. They had the lane matchups, they had the CS leads, and they're just finding fight after fight here. The only thing that didn't go in their favor was that Herald getting stolen away.
Yeah, that's about it. But even then, it's the second Herald, right? It's whatever. They don't really care about that. They're 7.5K or about 7K gold lead. As I say that, Chandler Clark is just gonna solo kill this guy. Yeah.
Wow.
When stuff like that is happening, the game is kind of game set and match here. They are looking to push it down. This is the Baron waiting room. They have the ability to start Baron. That's Coldbox. Ooh, that is a good return damage, actually.
I mean, Anivia's just so good. Whenever you try and chase into her, she just has so many abilities to try and shut that down. You can't immediately get to her and stun her to deny her ultimate. She's just going to tick away at you little by little. This Nick Swantek, he's taking the brunt of that, but does have the sustain on this Vladimir to try and heal back up.
Yeah, he has to wait for the electric bot. Innovative picks. Oh, we have a bit of a disconnect coming out from Sovereign here, unfortunately. We will get that sorted out. Hopefully they will come back in. But yeah, just the game state of this right now is super unfortunate, right? We kind of predicted it into the chat or into the pregame chat when we were talking about like what Sovereign needs to do. He needs to affect the map early. Like if he doesn't get like his first 2-3 ultimates, doesn't pick up any kills, just the way Glacial Mingos is allowed to play, you know, super far up. They were able to pick up CS leads. They were able to constantly shove under tower. And yeah, you were right. Skarner sucks, Sulpan.
Yeah, I mean, like the current jungle meta just feels like junglers that can bash their head into a wall and win fights. That feels like the only good picks is like people like Diana, Xin Zhao, Jarvan. All they do is just get in the middle of things and just disrupt everyone. So what I'm Vecting, whenever I see Skarner, is like, I mean, yeah, you can play around 6, but like, you saw what happened in that middle lane. It was so sad. Gangplank raining down on top of a Jinx, who isn't any tanky by any means, right? And Skarner doing everything he can, but that's why I had to stop playing him. I mean, like, it just sucks when you're trying to fight anyone and you literally just don't have the damage to win a single fight against any champion in League. It hurts.
Oh, it really does. It just kind of emphasizes that, you know, like you said, run your head at a wall, jungle skirmish, like me do damage, me build Gore Drinker kind of junglers, right? I mean, Jarvan's really strong, like you said. Zinzal's very strong. Viego is still pretty strong. He has fallen a little bit. Lee Sin jungle's super strong. And then you have on the AP side, you really only have Diana that's available, as Morgana and Rumble got effectively nerfed out of the jungle. So it's all about like heavy 2v2, in my opinion, heavy 2v2 strong jungle mid combo, or even, you know, what we've been seeing recently is jungle mid 2v2 and then support comes in for the 3v3, and whoever has the stronger champions or just better upfront burst damage kind of just wins any skirmish, whether it's for Scuttle, whether it's for Rift Herald, whether it's for Dragon, or even for a little bit of damage onto the mid lane turret. It's just like, it's these scaling picks or these champions need to wait till 6 or need to wait for a certain break point, don't really succeed. And yeah, once Adam Suki came for these counter ganks, Sovereign was, you know, just useless.
Yeah, just forced out, right? I mean, like, just ask yourself the question in Champ Select. Who would you rather have backing you up 3 versus 3? J4 or Skarner? I think anyone would pretty much pick the Skarner pick, or sorry, obviously the J4 pick. Skarner, I think, was locked in because they saw the Jinx in there, thinking to themselves, all right, this is like a 1 carry comp. All we need to do is lock her down. We can just win fights. But unfortunately, I mean, they just lost everywhere across the map. And last game, you saw the effectiveness of the Diana. They won so many skirmishes with it that they were able to keep themselves in the game, and then eventually just win dragon fights with crazy team fight, ultimate and chain combos. But in this game, you're just seeing lane dominance across the board. You mentioned earlier, every CS was up every lane was up around 40 CS. And then on top of that, just not being able to shut down anyone, because as soon as Skarner shuts up in the lane, there was always Adam Suki just having great presence on the map, great awareness, and just matching that out perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, there were other junglers available too, right? Jarvan did get banned out on the side of Degenerate's Exiles, but I didn't see the Diana getting banned out from Glacial Mingos, or they didn't ban it out themselves, so that was still up. Like you said, you know, there's other junglers. Viego is still up. It's just Skarner right now, and these tank junglers, these junglers that just need to wait for levels and stuff, just don't hold a candle to somebody like Zinzal. And the thing is, Degenerate's Exiles also first picked Amumu there when Zinzal was up. It didn't get banned, and I don't think Glacial Mingos has been playing Amumu, right? So they could have just B2, B3'd Amumu Varus instead of going Amumu first pick, as now we're finally getting back into the game, and Swantik is getting aggressed on, flashes out.
Yeah, able to just quickly get out of that one. We'll deny the re-aggression there on Innovative by just dropping the Nivea zone. Red buff picked up here for Chandler. And not much else happening on the map. I mean, Baron now spawned. They got the double ADC comp and a massive lead. I'm just expecting to see Mingos just kind of go for this one. I mean, they don't need to like have any kind of crazy setup. They can just start up the Baron and force Degenerate's Exiles to come to them.
Yeah, they're super far ahead right now, and like you said, they can just start it, wait for a fight, turn if they want to. They have the double ADC comp, and Zinzal as well to just burn the Baron down as quickly as possible. They do a lot of damage. Silver Bolts plus Jinx minigun is just gonna burn it down really quickly, but instead they're gonna try to fake it like they're actually doing the Baron. TJ Linear just standing here on a flank as if he's a tank right now, is looking for a big flank. Instead, playing the Vayne. Nick Swantek might get caught out.
Ooh, yeah, forced to go into the sinking pool a little early there, but no damage to be had otherwise, as they have the ward set up. They're just not pulling the trigger on this one, as it looks like they want to find some kind of pick or some kind of fight before they opt into trying to take this Baron. And I don't think it's a bad call either, because I did mention that while they have the gold lead, Gangplank is probably the most terrifying champion in League to try and take Baron against. I mean, he's just so strong. He drops the ultimate. Oh my god, innovation picks. Might just die here. Sovereign gets pulled in. They're trying to find the damage here on the TJ Linear. He exhausts the Baron. No. Alive. Okay. Finally, he goes down, but on the opposite side, the Super Mega Death Rocket does pick up innovative picks, so they've managed to go 1 for 1.
Yeah, even going for 1-4 here, Mingos can probably take the Baron here as we get into another pause of what it looks like. Top laner DC'd, or Innovative Picks looks like it DC'd here, but yeah, this is just shows the kind of inexperience of mid league, I would say, as a whole. Just not recognizing you have such a a fat gold lead, an 8,000 gold lead, almost 9,000, and just kind of starting up the Baron, right? If you look to Heavy League, or if you look at Pinnacle or any other uncapped leagues, you'll see that when teams have this kind of lead, when they're even like 4,000 gold ahead, they'll just start the Baron up and look for a fight, or they'll just start the Baron up knowing they can burn it down, knowing that the other team can't really do anything about it. And this is kind of why we have those really long game times in mid league, I would say, and even in light league to some extent. It's just the fact that they aren't able to recognize their gold league and really do anything actionable with it, other than just kind of like bash their heads against the other team and win a team fight and then end it that way.
I mean, so that's all you have to do. Like, one thing I used to hate to see was when 131 compositions were extremely popular. Sometimes what you'd see is like just crazy lane dominance happen because just having those split pushers means that you're going to try and win out those lanes, right? So like mid would win, top would win, and then your bot lane would be even, but like they'd have this massive gold lead off the back of those solo laners, but then you still wouldn't try and just go for 5v5s. And that's like all you need to do. You don't need to play this crazy split push game if you're just that far ahead. Like, why give the enemy the chance to go for those picks and shutdowns when you could just run at them 5v5 and crush them mid lane ARAM style? The NARAM gets memed a little bit, but if you're like 10k gold up, just go for it. I mean, like, you don't need to do anything crazy. You don't need to macro all fancy. Just claim your sideways. Make sure you're not just getting pushed in and losing CS to your own towers. And then just crush them 5v5. That's all you gotta do. Just run at them.
Yeah, in this case, this is one of those games where Glacial Mingos just truly needs to run at them. I mean, you saw how much time it took for them to kill TJ Lanier with 3 people, right? Even when he was Skarner ulted as well, Sovereign got the Skarner onto him. It took so much damage and so much time, and Innovative Picks just doesn't. He's just not getting the time to set up his barrels. Like, we were bigging it up, right? Oh, Gangplank barrel combos are so strong, they're so big, like they hurt a lot. I have yet to see him like have the time to set up barrels and do a perfect or a proper combo onto anybody and really chunk anybody's health bar out. And if Degenerate Exiles can't let Innovative Picks set up his barrels, and they can't let these champions really set themselves up the way they want in team fights, they're just gonna get rolled over instantly, because Glacial Mingos team comp is run at you with all our CC, with all our damage, and if it sticks, it sticks.
Yeah, well, one thing is when we're on these pause screens and you're feeling a little bit tired, don't forget to type !AM grind in the chat and get yourself some high quality coffee to stay awake during these long pauses. We're gonna get to a quick spectator bug here. Don't worry about this. It'll resume in just a second. Raphael does gonna admit, I believe you're just kind of forced to drop this one as the timer went out. But eventually, we'll get back into this one.
Yeah, as we see, this is a new pause timer. This is a new pause that Riot implemented here with their new patch. Yeah, we're back in. Riftail does get dropped. Minions are getting cleared. Wards are getting cleared, and we're back into this riveting game of League of Legends. 22 minutes into the game, 41 to 33k, 8k gold lead for Glacial Mingos, and absolutely just going in.
Yeah, you recognize that the enemy has no mana here. Fully Loop's forced to ult for this engage. Coldbox still might be in danger here as he managed to land the wind becomes lightning, but they're just going to turn on this Amumu. Chandler Cart goes godlike, and he's got the damage. 2-item Jinx, and that's really all you need. You got the AoE rockets, you got the crits, and you've got Kraken Slayer on top of it to just melt through this frontline support.
Yeah, and Runin's on top of that is just going to dissuade Exiles from grouping up at all. 7-0-2, kind of going quietly, essentially, godlike, right? We weren't really talking about it. He was picking up kills left and right, using his ultimate, getting some crucial kills in the 2 or 3 team fights that happened, and was able to pick up a lot of gold. Ocean Soul is coming up. Glacial Mingo is going to probably pick that up for free. This 3-man squad here is just going to dissuade any aggression from Degenerate Exiles. And now, finally, they turn their heads, I believe, towards the Baron. Amzuki's going to pick up the scuttle there. And yeah, their eyes are finally on the game ender. 23 minutes in, picking up the Baron, hopefully, and possibly looking to end the game off of it.
Yeah, of course, Elder is still an option here, but Again, I think we mentioned earlier, this is a 10k gold lead coming up off the back of this Baron. They have the potential to just go for the end here. As Gangplank Ultimate is dropped on the Baron, they will spot it out and get some damage down on these laners, but I think even through this, I'm not sure if they want to try and take this fight. They're going to try and go for it. Baron's down to 2k. Going to be able to burst this one down. They get the smite secure, and now Gabe wants to try and find the fight. They're going to knock Nivea. A great knock as it continues on through. Will pop the egg. Innovative Fix, trying to come back in for a barrel combo. Manages to land a little bit of damage, but it's not enough to stop this team. And here comes Super Mega Death Rocket. Chandler Clark finds the third Super Mega Death Rocket onto the Innovative Fix, picking him up once again here. Now they got the middle lane fight. Drops their Casting Guard to stay alive. Adam Suki taking the tower, though, will go down eventually. Shut down goes the Skarner again. He can't keep getting away with the TJ Lanier on the side here, just hitting away. Sovereign in trouble here as Gabe will just get auto there on the side, and now TJ Lanier is the target, trying to make the outplay happen here. Chandler Clark helping as much as he can with rockets over the wall. TJ Lanier, a few more hours will do it. Fox Zero goes low. One more as he finally finds the kill, and a just enough lifesteal with that Triumph proc saves him from the tower shot as well. Nick Swantek just been pushing on the side.
Yeah, he doesn't even care. He's like, yeah, you guys just end the game through mid. I'm just going to split top here and force Anivia to answer me. I don't know if they can end the game here. Oh, a nice barrel combo, actually. And this is what we were talking about, right? These things can chunk you down.
Yeah, but it's a little bit too late. Your base is already in shambles as a second inhibitor tower falls. They'll get one inhibitor at least. Chandler Clark on the side here. At risk, as they might just look to try and engage here onto this Jinx. They have the ability to try and go for this one. Will manage to land the slow. Flute Loops has got the lockdown on top of it. A great flash will keep her alive, though, and able to just walk out of this one.
And I love the mindfulness from Chandler here to just auto the barrels as he's walking out so he doesn't get comboed.
Nick Swantek, okay. I'm not sure this is a play he wanted. Might end up getting shut down here, but Sangwing Pool and Chandler Clark just sticking around for his teammate is just enough to keep him away. But yeah, sorry, like you were saying about the barrels?
Yeah, I mean, it's just Chandler Clark has the mindfulness as he's running away to just hit the barrels and really stuff any, barrel chain combos. And you saw TJ Lanier doing that in the early laning phase, right? With that ranged matchup, was autoing barrels as soon as Gangplank put him down, not allowing any of this aggression. And yeah, we saw one really good barrel combo from Innovative Fix, and it did chunk Chandler and TJ Lanier down to half. So, like I said, if he can set it up, there is a world where Degenerate Exiles can bring this back. Last game we thought was game, set, and match. It went on for 40 minutes. Soulpan, I don't count anything out.
I do. Flute Loops? Not gonna get hooked in.
As TJ Lanier is breakdancing down into that bottom lane bush. They really only have one lane to push as top lane inhibitor turret was taken.
They're doing a good job taking out these barrels, but their ADCs aren't here to actually hit the tower, so it's not going to be worth too much. Gabe looking for a cheeky hook, not going to get it, but there is a Vayne in the middle lane. She continues to look to try to find this push forward, and if she gets into the base, of course, she can just opt for that top side inhib. Might just go for that one. Baron minions are now here on the tower as well, so it can be super hard for him to clear this one out as TJ Lanier finally goes for that top lane inhib and will knock this one down.
Yeah, he's going to hammer it with autos. Bot lane's also going to be taken out pretty soon. Degenerate Exiles looking like chickens with their heads cut off, running around everywhere, trying to stop the bleeding, trying to stop the fire, but you got three lanes, super minions pushing in, double waves coming. You just have to believe that Mingos is gonna walk in and take everything. One fight, end them all.
They're slowly poking away. Adam Suki will drop the Crescent Guard to stay alive as actually getting pulled into the fountain. There goes your Vladimir. Skarner gets another shutdown. I can't believe I said it yet again. Pulling in for Nick Swantek, but the Nexus is open. Everything's laid bare, and all I gotta do is auto this thing a few more times to close it out. Sovereign looking like he still wants to try and find another pick, but he's playing like he has ultimate when he doesn't, and he will finally fall with the Nexus. There is Glacial Mingos answer back with a decisive game 2.
Decisive is definitely one word. Annihilation is another word. To play very, very aggressively and just picking up those, 1,000 gold leads in lane, right? 40 to 50 CS. Each of them had a kill. I mean, Innovative Picks was getting bullied by TJ Lanier, and although that one gank early really helped him out and allowed him to pick up that Essence Weaver early, it just wasn't enough, right? It really wasn't, because the nerfs that came in, his Q doesn't do as much damage. He's able to proc it. It's a ranged auto now instead of a melee. So all that initial upfront burst damage or that trade damage you can get doesn't happen. And Innovative Picks just couldn't get his barrel combos off, could not get any chains into double ADC. And now if you're Degenerate Exiles, what do? You go back to the drawing board. I mean, you essentially ran a comp very similar to what you ran last game, and you got rolled over. So do you just try something different? Do you just not pick Skarner here?
I want to see one more ultimate on the board. I mean, Chains of Corruption and Curses of Sabmoney is fairly strong, but it wasn't enough to win them any fights, and really all they had left at that point was pick for potential from Sovereign. But yeah, like, I mean, I think it's just going to come down to not being that far behind. Simply don't be far behind, and you have a chance of coming back in the game. That's all it takes. But on a more serious note, I think it really was just your early game jungler pick. I mean, find something that can get your laners a slight advantage. I do think the Glacial Mingos have insanely good laners. If you don't have a jungler to help your laners out, you're going to struggle against this team composition. We will be going to a short break here, though, as we'll have to see if they can change up the draft just enough to take down this team, or if it'll be Glacial Mingos on a path of vengeance looking to close out the series, as we'll be right back with Game 3.